Guys, this is Heidi with Kiddos Corral, and today I'm going to show you my spinach lasagna rolls that I make. This is also another recipe in which I also do at the beginning of the month after I go to the grocery store and I want to do a meal that's easily prepared, as well as being able to put it in the freezer so I have it on hand. So if you want to put it in the freezer, I would get some of the aluminum pans that I've showed in the past. I'll show you what I have here in a minute. I have to get them out, but I'm not quite ready for that. I'm in the back of the stove here. I have my large pot, and it has water in it with a little bit of salt, because you want to go ahead and pre-boil your lasagna noodles. And whenever they get done, you want to drain those and lay those out on wax paper. Now, I haven't boiled those yet, but I just wanted to show you quickly how I make my sauce and what the other ingredients that you're going to need. Now, I have a little bit of olive oil in here, and you're going to want to put a dollop. I would say probably 2 teaspoons of crushed garlic. I just used the one that I get from Aldi's. It comes in a jar. Also going to need 1 small onion, and I have 1 medium bell pepper that I have diced up. And you want to add that, and you'll want to saute this for a little bit in the oil. And once it gets good and sauteed, then you want to add a can of spaghetti sauce. I like the Kroger brand that's mushroom. I like the fact that it is good and chunky and thick. And I really love the flavor of this one. Some of the spaghetti sauces I'm not a huge fan of, but this one I always seem to run back to because I really like it. Once I dump this in here, after my my vegetables here get all good and sauteed, I want to fill this about halfway full of warm water and shake it and get the excess of the sauce out, and also it'll add a little bit more liquid to the sauce. On hand, you're going to need a tub of ricotta cheese, but you also can use small curd cottage cheese and not ricotta. I like the ricotta cheese, however, my mom does not like ricotta cheese, so she would probably use the small curd cottage cheese. So either or works fine. You're going to need a bag of spinach, and I let my spinach sit in the refrigerator overnight, and I put it in a bowl because some of the liquid where it's thawed, I didn't want it to get running all over the inside of my refrigerator, so it's just thawed in this bag. What I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to cut this open and squeeze the excess liquid out of the spinach. And I'll be showing you exactly where this will come in during the recipe. And I also used a bag of mozzarella cheese. Now mine came from Aldi's, but you can use any mozzarella cheese that you choose. And of course, I've already said the olive oil. And the olive oil of my choice comes from Costco, and there's probably about 1.5 tablespoons in the bottom of this pan. Now I'm going to go ahead and get this sauteed, and I'm going to go ahead and get my lasagna noodles boiling, and then I'll come back and show you how we put this together. Now I just wanted to check in and show you that I got my onions and everything good and sauteed. I kind of like them when they get a little bit brown and translucent. And I know you really start smelling that onion and that garlic and pepper really working together, and it smells really, really good. Now all I do now is I just add my spaghetti sauce, and this is a real chunky sauce, so it's kind of hard to get out of the jar completely. Now I'm just going to add a little bit of water, probably halfway. And I put the lid back on it, and over my sink I'm going to shake it to try to get all of the excess out of the jar so I don't waste any of it. Okay, so I got the excess out of the jar. As you can see, it's really clean. I just want to give this a good stir. Now that'll cook up nicely. Now I just want to show you real fast. This is the pan that I use in the freezer, and then once I put the food in, then I cover it really, really well with aluminum foil, and that is what I'm going to use to make my lasagna roll-ups. So now I'm just waiting for my water to boil and to get my pasta done, and once that gets done, I will be back to show you how to roll these up. Okay, my noodles are done. As you can see right here, I have the pan of them here. Now what I do is I take the noodles out of the water and put them in a colander or strainer, whatever you care to call it. Drain it really well and then run cold water over it, because you're going to have to be able to touch these noodles with your hands. Now these noodles are not done to where they will split and pull apart. They're just al dente, meaning they're just done. Then I take my misto, which is, or you can use your pan spray. I've been using this instead where I make my own. And I spray the pan before I put the lasagna noodles down on it. Now, I leave the ones in the colander that I'm not using right now, and I leave the water running over them to keep them cool and to keep them from sticking together. Now, I put half my tomato sauce or my spaghetti sauce in the bottom of my pan here that I'm going to put my pasta in. So the first thing I want to do is I want to take some ricotta and I want to put it down on each one all the way across. And this isn't rocket science. It doesn't have to look beautiful or anything like that. And I just kind of squish it down onto the noodle all the way across the noodle. Some of your noodles might seem bigger than others. Some might rip a little bit. This one tore just a little bit on the end. But remember, you're going to cover these with mozzarella cheese at the end and sauce. So honestly, you know, the perfection is just not going to mean anything, really. All right, I'm going to get this ricotta cheese down on these noodles, and you want to kind of work as quickly as possible because, you know, you don't want to take a risk of your noodles all sticking together in the colander behind you. Now, I've already drained my frozen, which is thawed now, obviously. After it thawed, I strained it. I'm going to put a little bit of this spinach across. Now, I don't add a whole lot. If you like spinach a lot, add as much as you want. My kids aren't a huge fan, but I get a little bit of greens in them whenever I fix this, so it's kind of a win-win. So just add just a little bit of the green. Oops, I dropped a little bit there, but that's okay. Then I want to add a little bit of the mozzarella to each one. And, you know, you kind of make a little bit of a mess whenever you do this. It's not a big deal. Just add the mozzarella. Then all you want to do is you want to start on one end, and you just simply want to roll these up. And tuck in the bottom and lay it right on top of the sauce. You want to roll it up and tuck right into the sauce. I put the seam down. when I put it into the sauce. You want to roll it. It's kind of slippery. You want to put the seam down. Put the seam down. Pull this over to me. And then you want to just put the seam down. Some of it might leak a little bit. It's okay, because, you know, it's all going in one place here. And I'm going to get some more noodles, and I'm going to roll this up, but you basically get the idea. I'm going to see if the camera is picking up. Yeah, it is. You can see how I rolled it there. Make sure that you see that. And that is pretty much the effect. Now, after I get all these rolled, I'll show you exactly how to cover these and what to do next. Okay, now I have all of my lasagna noodles rolled up, as you can see here. So now all I want to do is I want to take my remaining sauce that I have, and I want to put that all over the top of the noodles. And this pan is heavy. And I like to use a spatula because I can guarantee that I can get everything scraped out of here, so I don't waste anything. So that is there. And I just want to spread this over top. Like that. Now, if I was going to freeze this, I would go ahead and I would cover this with cheese. And then I would put the aluminum foil all over the top of this pan and go ahead and pop it in the freezer. But since I'm going to bake it right now, I have my oven preheated at 350 degrees, and I want to go ahead and I want to cover this with all of my remaining mozzarella cheese. And I have some more back here. I just poured some in a bowl when I was putting those together. And I'll put the exact measurements of everything in the description box down below in case you want to copy and paste and you know, print it out for your records. This is a delicious, delicious recipe. My entire family loves this recipe. So I'm just going to go ahead and make sure this is good and covered. I'm going to pop a piece of foil over the top lightly, and I'm going to put this in the oven for 350 degrees for 20 to 30 minutes. I just want it good and bubbly all over and the cheese good and melted. And I'll show you what it looks like when it comes out of the oven. I thought I would quickly mention that anytime that you cook with these aluminum pans bought from the store, before you place it in the oven, make sure that you put that pan on a cookie sheet, because when the food cooks up, the aluminum pan becomes very flimsy, and I burnt myself one time really, really badly with a lasagna I had put together. So I just wanted to make sure I added that for y'all. Just make sure that you place the pan on a cookie sheet so it has a firm foundation when you put it in and take it out of the oven. Okay, the roll-ups are out and I'm about to serve it. I just quickly want to show you what they look like when you serve them. You want to make sure you get the sauce. And that's what it looks like. Alright, I hope y'all enjoyed this week's Sunday Simple Supper, and I'll be talking to you guys again soon. Bye-bye.